Donald Trump's supporters are freaking out on Twitter and other online spaces because it's been announced that Chris Wallace of Fox News is going to be moderating the first debate between Trump and Joe Biden on the 29th of September. This is just so telling about how skewed Republican and Trump spaces are right now going into the election, that they don't just demand that right-wing spaces like Fox News get to host and moderate and air debates, but that specific people, even on Fox News, are far too quote-unquote left-wing or anti-Trump to be hosts and moderators for the debate. And that's what they're saying. They're calling Chris Wallace a Trump hater. They're saying that he's a secret Democrat. They're saying that he's on the far left. They're saying that, this is a Fox News debate, but you're not actually going to get conservative opinions because Chris Wallace is biased in favor of Joe Biden. And there's no basis to these claims. Sure, on a network that's right of center like Fox News, maybe Chris Wallace is seen as more of a quote-unquote moderate, but he's still a prominent voice on a very conservative network. In global terms, it's far-right news. It really is. And Chris Wallace is very much a strident conservative from what I can see. But what he also is fair to the people he interviews. And fairness doesn't just mean courtesy, fairness means accountability. And Trumpers do not like accountability when levied at Donald Trump especially. Because here's the thing, we all remember that Chris Wallace did that massive interview with Trump a couple of months ago now. I don't even know, I'm losing track of time, given that I barely leave the house. But, Trump did that interview with Chris Wallace. And Chris Wallace asked Trump tough questions, not just softballs. And not only did he have the gall from, the MAGA hat perspective to ask Trump real questions that weren't designed to make Trump look good by default, but that when Trump answered those questions, Wallace had follow-ups that were designed to actually hold him to account. If Trump lied, then Chris Wallace called him out on it, often with facts and figures ready. If Trump said that Biden said something and Biden didn't say it, Chris Wallace noted that. If Trump made a claim that wasn't necessarily a lie, but maybe was something that he hadn't made before, Chris Wallace followed up on that, asking for the information, for the proof, for the charts and figures and data and quotes and evidence. And more often than not, Trump couldn't give it. And Trump flailed and flailed and flailed and flailed, and it went massive. That interview went viral everywhere. And I noted how devastating it was because it was a fair interview. It wasn't a gotcha interview on Trump, and it also came from a respected journalist on Fox News. So a lot of the claims of bias couldn't really be made. And then Republicans surprised me, and they went with the claims anyway. The definition of being a Trump hater is not being a 100% Trump sycophant. That's the definition, at least right now. And so even voices on Fox News are considered to be anti-Trump until proven otherwise, until they pledge total allegiance to Donald Trump. And so they don't want fairness. I fully expect Chris Wallace to be fair. He was honestly critical of the keynote speeches of both Trump and Biden. I think he was right in noting that Trump's speech lacked a lot of the energy that his 2016 speech had. And I think he was right in noting that, Biden's speech really was at least okay insofar as we don't expect a lot from Biden and it exceeded expectations. I think that's a fair analysis. Remember, fairness is not always neutrality. Neutrality is very different. It's sometimes unfair to be neutral when there are two things happening and one is bad and one is good. And I think what Chris Wallace has done is he's shown himself to be relatively unbiased between these two candidates. And if sometimes, because one of them is lying more and more brazenly than the others, he criticizes that person more, that's not bias. That's not a lack of fairness. That's, accurate moderation and accurate journalism and accurate criticism. So I think this is extremely telling. If you want to see what Trump voices think of the media, this is key. Every politician has this view that the media is against them. They all do. In some cases, it's true. With regards to Bernie Sanders and the left, it actually is true. The mainstream media in the United States is largely against them. For claims of Republicans and mainline Democrats, I don't necessarily find that to be the case. But every politician makes that claim. Yet with Trump and his supporters, it goes into absolute overdrive. They don't just want fairness, they want total balance towards them.